Hello, everyone, and welcome to our very last podcast episode of 2025. The Sammy Banana phone has been ringing off the hook all year, and I'm really excited to see what voicemails that you have left us. But first, unlike Banana Phone episodes of past, this one's a little bit different because I am joined by my Good Vibes FC co-host, Lynn Biondolo. Lynn, it's the Sammy Banana phone times the Lynn phone.
The banana phone times the shrimp phone.
The shrimp and banana phone. I actually love that.
I had a banana this morning, actually.
You did?
Yes.
This is an actual phone, you know.
Oh my gosh. Cute. Does it work?
Yeah. I think every time we hear a caller play, we should hold up. If you're listening to this on audio, I'm holding up my banana phone to my ear on the YouTube version. It does work, but you have to Bluetooth connect it to your phone.
Oh. So you have to
and
have
I've
your
never
phone.
actually connected it. It's just here for the vibes.
I love that because good vibes.
I love it too. And look at this. Props.
Oh my.
We've got props, everybody.
Should I get my sunglasses?
Yeah, do you have them with you in Australia?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, will you go get
0.5 seconds. Hold on.
Okay. I told you guys all this on the Friendsmas episode last week, but I got candle wax on my hot dog glasses because I lit a Christmas candle and then I blew it out so ferociously that I got wax all over them. So I'm going to wipe that off right now so that I can use these today. I'm just keeping myself company while Lynn's away. This is our last work of the year, you guys, so it's going to be a little bit loose.
All right.
There
I'm back
we
and
go.
ready.
There we go.
Now I'm ready.
We, as you know, as I have just explained, we had some loyal hot dogs call in and leave us messages with questions that they have about the year and really just what's on their mind. I have no idea what they're going to say. So I do think we should go ahead and listen to our first caller.
Do it. Hit it.
Hi, Sam and Lynn. I'm Natalie from Louisville, Kentucky, and my favorite team is Racing Louisville. Thinking about the NWSL and the WSL, I was thinking about how in 2024, I feel like we saw a lot of WSL players coming to the NWSL. I'm thinking Esme Morgan, we got Jess Carter and AKB in 2024. And then at the end of 2024 and into 2025, we lost so many great players to the WSL. We obviously saw Naomi Girma leave. We saw Alyssa Thompson head over to the WSL. So who do we think from the WSL is going to come over during this transfer window, during this off season, and kind of recalibrate it, bring the balance back? Thanks. Love you all.
Natalie, thank you so much for calling in. So Natalie wants to know who from the WSL is going to come over to the NWSL in the January transfer window. I feel like this question is like way above my pay grade.
Same. Literally have no idea. But I do think that this is like a great point that I actually still think there is balance. Like we just did a switcheroo in the leagues.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I do think the only name that really came to mind of somebody that may come back could be Jenna Neiswanger.
Yes.
I do not know if that's happening. I do feel like we saw a few weeks ago, maybe there was a rumor that Jenna may leave Arsenal. She has not been like playing very much. She could leave and go somewhere else in Europe, but I do think that is a possibility. I also will point out, and this is like very just like defending the NWSL of me, but even if we aren't, pulling talent directly from the WSL, we did get a ton of other talent this year in that summer transfer window, like Jackie Ovalle, Sophia Cantore. So the talent to the NWSL is still coming in. I'm really interested this year in seeing how the expansion teams are going to like affect everything. Like I do feel like we've been seeing like interesting signings going to Boston from Europe, from like, I think that like the GM came from Barcelona and the coach came from Benfica. So we might like see this interesting new mix of players because of those connections.
I agree. Jenna was such a good shout. Let's start that rumor. Yeah. Jenna's coming back. We don't actually know.
It's the last episode of the year, so like we're basically just willing to like say and do anything and start any rumor.
Yeah, I literally have no idea, but I feel like it's a great league to play in, so come on, girls.
I love that, Lynn. We're keeping it really loose. The other player I actually wanted to bring up before we move on from this question is somebody who did also come back this year that hasn't gotten a lot of like discussion about her is Mia Fishel. And it was like a huge deal when she came back. She played on your team. I'm like curious if you think we'll see her back with the national team. Like, I feel like before she got injured, she was like one of the players we were so excited about in the forward line for the national team. Unfortunately, she had that injury. She was at Chelsea for a while. She's come back to Seattle, but I feel like the forward line on the national team has like grown in depth so much, and I haven't really heard her name mentioned there. So I'm like throwing this as a side question into this question.
To me, or just the world?
Well, to you, ideally.
I think that Mia is a great player, and I think that I've seen her growth through like the latter half of the season. I'm assuming that Emma would love to see her play more consistently for Seattle, but I do think that there's something about the NWSL that will help grow Mia's game a lot. I think her skill sets thrived in those leagues, but now she's put herself in a position of like challenge and growth. And I do think that will help her be on the national team. So I'm also interested to see what's going to happen. I just think that transition takes a bit of time because it's like very challenging.
Yeah, totally. The transition is really hard, but it would be exciting. I think especially like, I think a lot of the news this year was like, oh my God, should the NWSL be panicking that we lost Naomi and Alyssa Thompson? And it's like, yeah, obviously that like wasn't ideal, but I'm like hoping for like the media's sake and like the feeling and like the tides and like the drama that we do get some big names in the January transfer window coming into the NWSL. I think that would be like fun for everybody.
Me too. Also, not to go back to Mia, but she's like so young still. Like she's really young.
Thank you so much for calling, Natalie. I love that question. What a great start to the end of the year episode. Let's hear from our next caller.
Hi, Sam and Lynn. This is Claire from DC, and my favorite team is the Spirit. Sam, you originally said that Houston would have the biggest glow up of the season. Now that the NWSL season is over, which team do you actually think had the biggest glow up? Thanks so much. Bye.
Wow. Claire calling me out. Look, Houston, shout out. I think I was just a year early on the call for the glow up from Houston. I do think, the second half of their season, they did a lot better. I think they're still adjusting to the new coach. I do think 2026 could be Houston's year, but I did call that one a little bit early, and I do admit it. Biggest glow up from 2025 was probably Louisville. What do you think, Lynn? Oh, are we keeping the glasses on?
Sorry, I just had to like dust mine off. They were just...
It's all right. It's all right. If you take the hot dog glasses off, we lose internet.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just keep them on. It's like an antenna.
Okay, biggest glow up of the season. Do you agree that it's Louisville?
I actually don't. And this is like a hot take, obviously, but I think that Louisville obviously did great this year and got themselves into playoffs, but they were in 9th place and then they finished in 8th place, which is 7th place. Sorry.
Don't get the standings wrong in front of me.
Seattle last year was in 13th place and finished in 5th. So.
Whoa.
I'm just going to say.
You know what? You know why I think Seattle didn't strike me as a glow up is because I like expect Seattle to be good.
Yeah, I think they had a down year, but I also think that is a huge glow up from the previous year.
It's a huge glow up. You're absolutely right. I'm so glad that you pointed this out to us.
You're welcome. That's why I'm here.
It's like how in 2024, I feel like, and I mean no shade to Orlando whatsoever, so much respect for like the way that team has changed over the years, but it was like Orlando winning and being so dominant in 2024 felt so out of the ordinary because for so long Orlando was like in the lower half of the table for like years. And I think it's similar with Seattle, where it's like Seattle has like this very rich history that it was like almost like I put it out of my mind that Seattle came in 13th place, and seeing them come in 5th was just like, yeah, like obviously. Seattle belongs near the top of the table.
I feel that, but coming to the team that didn't finish great, like it definitely was talked about and how tough that season was for them. So I was like, yeah, huge glow up.
Well, what do you credit the glow up to? And like, are you going to let Houston know?
Just kidding. Obviously, look, I think that Seattle last year lost a lot of players. Like you retire Pino, Sofia Huerta left midway through the season, Alana Cook left. And I think that it left the team with a lot of holes to fill in a short amount of time. This year, even though we were like very young, we had a team for the whole season.
Yeah.
That could like, I don't know, try to gel together. Houston, no, I'm not going to let anybody know any secrets, obviously.
Well, this is going to be public, you know.
Still not going to let them know secrets.
Very interesting. So we have a toss-up between Seattle and Louisville, both big improvements.
Yeah, I think Louisville did a great job this year. Great improvements.
Let's go to our next caller. Claire, thank you so much for calling in. We so appreciate it. Let's hear from our next one.
Hi, Sam and Lynn. My name is Steve from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm a huge, huge, huge fan of the pod. Thanks for all you do. So my question is, this year we saw a lot of debuts under Emma Hayes for the national team. What do you guys think the USWNT player that had the most impressive debut was, or that's surprised you the most this year? Thanks.
Steve. As soon as Steve said his name, I wanted to go stove.
She didn't mean it, Steve.
Steve, thank you so much for calling. Thank you for the kind words. It's so nice to hear from you. Lynn, which player do you think had the most impressive debut this year?
I need a list of the players that debuted this year, first and foremost.
Okay, want me to list off some for you?
Yeah.
I actually have a little cheat sheet here.
Okay.
Coming out of Seattle, Sam Meza, Claudia Dickey. Have a feeling we could circle back to those. We've also got Lola Bonta, Izzy Rodriguez, Mandy McGlynn, Emily Sams, Lily Reel, Michelle Cooper, Tara McCown. Tara McCown feels like she's been on the team for 3 years, so that's crazy if she actually debuted in 2025.
She did.
Avery Patterson, I feel similarly about. Claire Hutton, Giselle Thompson, and Fallon Joyce.
Claire got her debut this year too.
That's what it says on my cheat sheet.
And Jordan Bug, I think. Or was that last year?
Oh, yeah.
There's too many.
Maybe not an extensive list, but a partial list. Claudia is a name that comes to mind right off the bat. Like, I think, and again, it's so interesting to see how like facts differ from feelings, because for a while this year, I was like, Fallon is going to be the number one goalkeeper. And she absolutely still could be. I love Fallon. I'm a huge fan, but Claudia Dickey actually played more. And so then I'm like looking at it and I'm like, even though it felt like Fallon for a long time, the stats show that it could be Claudia.
I know. I'm just trying to think about his question as like a debut. And I'm not saying that Claudia didn't have a great debut, but I don't know if she actually did anything. Like I don't know if
in that particular game.
Exactly.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's just broaden it to like, debut year, breakout year.
Okay. I do think Claudia has had a great debut year. And like you said, I think at the very beginning, both of us were like, Fallon. And again, it's not that I'm off Fallon at all, but it does seem like things have like shifted a little bit. And for that, I think that that's really hard to do.
I mean, Avery Patterson.
I know. I was very impressed when I saw her at camp, and she just looked like she had been there for a long time. Same with Tara.
I know.
And kind of the same with Claire.
Yeah, Claire plays like beyond her years. And I've also been saying, we got a few questions about this in our last TWG Live we did after the last US Women's National Team game. And I kept saying Michelle Cooper. Like, I feel like Michelle Cooper is a name I've been hearing for years. And she seemed like young until this year. And then this year, I'm just like, oh yeah, like she belongs on the field. Like, she's a great player. She's so dangerous. She is like creating chances, crossing balls, like getting in there, scoring herself, like in multiple ways. I feel like Michelle Cooper made like leaps and bounds this year.
I agree. There's too many. I think everybody's great. Everybody gets the answer. They're all winners.
Everybody. We love everybody.
Yeah, I feel like it's just crazy. There's been so many. Like,
so many. Something else I was saying recently on a podcast with you, Lynn, I think, was that the pool feels bigger now. Mm-hmm. All the players that Emma could choose from, it feels like she could choose from like 40 players. And I feel like historically the pool has really only been like 25 to 30 players. But it feels like reasonable to see a mix of like a bunch of people, including all these names that we just mentioned in camp.
I agree. And I think that like as we get closer to a tournament, the pool is going to get smaller naturally. But right now, when we're a couple years out, having a big pool of players to pull from, obviously, it makes sense because you want to make sure that even if they're not ready, somebody's not ready for this World Cup or this Olympics, they're ready for the next one. And that's how you continue to develop a larger population of people that like, so we have waves and waves and waves of high quality talent and not seeing like a drop off.
Yeah. You know what that reminds me of is like, there were a few instances in 2023 at the World Cup where I think there was like an injury or like a shortage somewhere. And instead of having a player with experience on the national team as the next up, there were a few players with like very little experience as the next up. And I think that is not the sole reason why 2023 didn't go well. But imagine being able to call in somebody with like 20 caps and like 10 camps under their belt as opposed to somebody with 0.
Well, I know. I think that when I look back at 2023, it's not that there wasn't a talented team that was there. Very talented. It's just there was a lot of inexperience. And when you get into a tournament that's already emotional and high stakes, somebody with a lot of experience could also be emotional, could get emotional. So if you have somebody with no experience, expecting them to just be okay and be able to ride all these waves of emotion, it's a really hard ask. So making the pool bigger and deeper and giving people experience. And like I said, maybe somebody in this year that we saw get a debut isn't going to be ready for the World Cup 27, but they'll be ready for the next one or the next Olympics.
Yeah.
And that's exactly
totally
what you want within a federation, is the continuous cycle of like people with experience and talent.
Yeah.
That wasn't part of the question, but
no, but it's loose. It's loose. We said it was going to be loose. I think Stove just wanted to, be a part of it. Great question. I'd love to know what Stove thinks. Stove, I hope that this isn't like, the most annoying thing that happens to you all the time is people call you Stove and now you're just like gritting your teeth that we're doing it as well. So Steve,
what do you want, so appliance?
Steve, we just love you. Thank you so much for calling in. Okay, let's hear from our next caller. I'm so excited.
Hi, TWG team. I am Fiona from Austin. I've called in before. I am actually aiming to become the Avery of the voicemail segment. So maybe you guys can help me make that happen. Lynn, I watched you score in Austin in 2021. It was so awesome. I took like a million creepy photos of you because I was just so excited. So congrats on your pregnancy. Just love everything that you guys are doing here and all the new pods. Okay, I've heard y'all say before that international games are harder than club play. And I'm really curious to hear more about why that is. Logically in my head, sometimes the teams that we play in friendlies and even in tournaments don't have as many players playing in leagues like the NWSL or the Women's Super League, like those top tier leagues. So I'm just curious to learn more if you can explain about like, why are they at a higher level? What makes it more challenging? Thank you so much.
Ooh. Wow, Fiona, thank you so much for calling in. Really interesting question. Fiona is aiming to become the Avery of the voicemail segment. So Fiona, that means you do have to call in every single time we ask. Avery is our most loyal TWG Live caller. So you have a big shoes to fill. But Fiona, we're very excited that you're here. Lynn, what's your initial reaction to this question?
I thought there's so many different reasons why. And I was quickly like putting a list in my head. One, all of the top talent of every single team is coming onto one team. So everybody is like the best player on their team.
On their club team.
Their club team coming into one team. And then all around the world that is happening. Even if a player isn't in the WSL or in the NWSL or whatever, they're still the top person. Two, the like specifics and the detail of each national team is more in depth than I would say club teams. Like you're watching way more film. The organization of the team is usually better. You're facing different systems. In the NWSL, you can expect transition soccer. Like, yes, each team has a maybe slightly different style, but you can expect that versus if you're playing a Japan versus a Brazil versus England, it's like very different styles of soccer. So making sure you break that down. What else?
Yeah, I mean, not to like totally be devil's advocate here, but I was gonna say it's not always harder. Like, yeah, I think, like I will say all the reasons you listed are totally valid. Some of the things that come to my mind of when it is harder to play an international game than a club game. One, for the US women's national team, because it's so stressful. Like something I will say is like you have a contract with your club team, like they're probably not going to cut you if you have a bad game because you're signed to a contract. The national team might cut you. So the stress is different.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
the stress.
So it's not actually the game. It's not the game. It's like the environment. Yeah, it's the environment sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's just knowing like I'm on the chopping block at any given second. Even if we are playing a team that we might beat by several goals, it's like my performance will still be analyzed on film and reviewed. So like I am still trying to do everything perfectly. And then I feel like another element is kind of what you were saying, Lynn. Like you might be being exposed to like a totally different style or physicality that's not kind of within your weekly cadence of like exposure. Like I think sometimes we would play a team from a confederation that we weren't as familiar with, and it would just like throw us for a loop because their style or their physicality would just be like different. I think about sometimes playing Colombia or playing Nigeria or just playing a team from a region that we're exposed to that style less. And that can like present a whole new challenge. Whereas like you said in the NWSL, typically week after week, you kind of like get used to playing against those teams in that style.
I do think that the physicality is more intense on the national team in any game though, for some reason. Yeah, like even games, the score line is very skewed. Like say we win 6-0 for some reason. I'm like physically though, that was like way more exhausting. And I don't know if that's just like the stress you put on your own self and then you just feel more exhausted, or it actually is more taxing. I have no idea why, but I'm like, that was exhausting.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I guess what I also will say is like with the national team, you're likely traveling like no matter what. Whereas with the NWSL, sometimes you're at home. Sometimes it's just like more a part of your schedule, and like all the travel and living in a hotel with the national team does get exhausting. What I will say is like in a world tournament like the World Cup, with my experience, like thinking about the 7 games we played at the World Cup, I was like, there was never 7 games in a row with that intensity or like level of like difficulty. Even though we like won one of those games by so many goals, we beat Thailand 13-0. It was like a part of this like extremely heightened, difficult path to like winning a major world tournament with so many millions of eyes on you that it's just different. Whereas like you get used to playing week in and week out in the league. You understand the implications. It's just not as like, this is everything you've ever worked for all at once.
Yeah, I think your life dream sitting there.
Yeah, no pressure.
That's a valid point. Like it's not just the game itself. It's like all the stuff around the game that makes it feel more intense and more vital, for lack of better words. I also do think that like, especially when you're first on the national team, like with your club team, you get to see the same people every single day and you get to know their habits and you get to know like how they play. And sometimes, especially if you're new, you're thrown into a game and you're like, I didn't know she was going to cross the ball because I am not used to her tendencies.
We only had a day and a half of training before this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because the windows are so short. So
yeah,
you're like, okay, well, I just don't know your tendency yet. And then hopefully over time you get used to it. But that like, honestly, if you think about it, being able to train with somebody for a whole year is really not that many trainings. So you have to make sure you're in the national team consistently for years, and that's stressful.
Yeah. I like love this question because it's actually like really challenging me to think about, you know, I don't remember ever explicitly being like, yeah, international games are so much harder, but it's like, it must come through in the way we talk about it. And like, you know, the listeners pick up on that. And it's really interesting to me because I don't think it's one clear thing. I think there are certainly NWSL and club games that are harder. And then there are certainly like a lot of moments with the national team that are heightened and more stressful and harder, but both could be harder on any given day. But this was like a really challenging and interesting question, Fiona. So thank you so much. I hope you call in continuously because if you keep the questions like this, we're going to have a lot of work to do.
For some reason, I want to call her Fifi. Thanks, Fifi.
Yeah, I guess we're just giving nicknames to every caller. So let's see who's getting nicknamed next.
Hi, this is Maria from Sonoma, and I'm a Rain fan. What is the silliest travel lost luggage related situation that you have ever been in? All right, take care. Bye.
Maria from Sonoma. Lynn, I have one that immediately comes to mind
go.
from our time with the Courage. Do you know what it is?
I don't know. Go. don't know.
I don't know if everybody remembers this, but like basically when like away suitcases like first
Yes.
got invented, they like did like mass marketing, and like if you DM'd them on Instagram, like you basically got a free away suitcase. And their whole shtick was like, yes, you can charge your phone with the suitcase, but also like lifetime guarantee, like this will never get damaged. Like it's like it's virtually indestructible. Like that's how it got sold to us. And we were on an away trip with the North Carolina Courage. We were coming home, and we were obviously in like group 7 to board. So they ran out of overhead space on the plane for my away carry-on that I had brought on the trip. The woman at the counter started like singling people out to like gate check their bag. And like, I'm just standing there minding my own business, not doing anything. And of course she points at me from across the room and goes, you with the bag, you come here, bring your bag. So I have to gate check this bag. And I was all upset because a bunch of my teammates literally right next to me just got to bring theirs on. And I like literally got singled out. Then once I collect my luggage on the other side of the plane, it has a huge dent in it.
I think
And
it
I
had a
literally-
crack in it. I think
It had like a crack. The corner was all like caved in. And this was my first trip with this new away suitcase. And I literally was like, why did I get singled out? Why did I like ruin my luggage already? So what ended up happening was I like kind of like think I like maybe complained, but like we had to go. Like you're with the team, like nobody's gonna wait for me to talk to the gate agent. So like I guess I kind of had to go. And then I like wrote back to away and was like, hey, you kind of like lifetime guaranteed this and gave it to me for free. So like, can I have another one? And I think they sent me another one.
that's like one of those moments where like you are so upset and everybody else is like, come on. It's no big
I know.
deal.
And I was just like, guys,
There was
but my
definitely enough space. There was
suitcase.
so much space in the overhead. It was so funny.
so much space, but she like refused. I know, Maria, that this wasn't really like lost luggage, but this was like a silly suitcase situation. So I felt like I had to share it. Lynn, have you ever lost your luggage?
Yeah, I have. But before I tell that story, I also had an away situation where it was before you can like click out the battery. Cause like the like version
Oh my
1.
God. And you had to wrench it out.
Yeah. So they were like, you need to take the battery off. We can't have you have it in the overhead compartment. And I was like, it doesn't come out. And she was like, okay, well then you need to give up the bag.
Get a screwdriver.
Well, she was like, I have this plastic bag for you to put all your luggage in. And I was like, I'm not leaving my suitcase. And thank God Kristen Hamilton had a metal credit card and we used that as a screwdriver to get it out.
to unscrew the battery.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, that was like back when I feel like suitcases were like basically being reinvented.
Yes.
And they like made some mistakes with like the logistics of it all.
I still have that away suitcase. I use it all the time. I love it. But
I think same. I think I also still have like the free influencer bag.
same. It's like, anyways.
It is indestructible except for that one time.
Yeah, you just got like a faulty one. That was crazy. Okay, my lost luggage. Okay, this is my first national team camp. And
No.
yeah. And you know so at the time, everybody had the same bag, like the USA bags.
Oh, yeah.
And you got one if you made like a major tournament. So like a She Believes or
Yeah.
whatever. And I obviously hadn't made one yet because it was my first camp.
And it was like a huge deal because they had wheels on them.
They had wheels on them.
And otherwise you had to like, I mean, I guess we just like couldn't buy our own suitcases, but like otherwise you had to like carry a duffel bag into camp.
Yeah, it was crazy. There must have been a message. Classic me, not reading the message. No. Actually, this is what happened. Everybody put their suitcase down outside because we were going somewhere. And I put my luggage right next to it. But because I didn't have a US bag, it just got left.
didn't get taken.
It just got left on the curb.
No.
So we got all the way to wherever we were going. And I was like, I don't have a bag. So for days, people were having to track down this bag that was left on the curb. And eventually I got it back, which was a miracle. But yeah, that was my like first camp. And then on my way home from camp, my flight like got delayed. Then I missed my next flight and I had to like spend the night in Arizona when I was trying to get to California. It was like a high and a low. And I was like, wow, life balances, huh?
Yeah, this like really just turned into like a big old travel mishap.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
But Maria, such a fun question. These are like such perfect questions for shows like this because they just get us going on a tangent. And that's what me and Lynn really love to do the most. Maria, thank you so much for calling in. We have one more caller. This is the last one. So let's end things on a high.
Okay.
Hi, Sam and Lynn. This is Elle from Chicago, and my favorite team is the Stars. Thanks for all of your coverage this year. Looking ahead, what are you most excited for in the new year, either soccer-related or not? Also, what's your end of year good vibe? Thank you.
Elle from Chicago. Oh my
Chi-town.
goodness. Oh my goodness. So fun. Okay, what are we most excited for the new year? And what's our end of year good vibe? Oh my gosh, bringing the good vibes to Sammy Banana Phone Hot Dog Land. Okay.
You go.
Well, I don't know if anybody listened to Friends Miss last week, but this isn't really what you asked, but I do want to learn how to make a good roast chicken. So I'm very excited about that. I also have some like little trips planned. My friend who has this vintage clothing company is going to take me to New York in January, and she's going to take me shopping.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
Don't
get overwhelmed
about that.
Don't get overwhelmed.
I'm not going to get overwhelmed. I'm just going to like let her do it, and I'm going to be there as a body to try on garments and then have her tell me how to wear them.
Just be a mannequin.
I'm just going to be a mannequin. I'm really excited about that. So I am excited for 2026. Anything soccer related. I mean, yeah, I'm excited for all the soccer, you know, it's just a joy, just an absolute joy. The Men's World Cup is going to be cool.
Yes.
Very cool.
V cool. Cool. Okay, what's your good vibe?
Be cool. What are you excited about?
Having a baby. I'm excited about having a baby. I'm also excited to like hopefully not have heartburn anymore post child, and sharing my baby with my friends and family. That's what I'm excited for. That's
amazing. Okay.
Soccer related. Yeah, the World Cup is happening. You know, USA and Australia are in the same group and they're playing in Seattle.
Oh my gosh.
So see how everything goes.
Wow.
But
all of the worlds are going to collide.
Like that.
Okay, Lynn. Well, I guess our last thing that Elle wants from us is our end of year good vibe.
Oh, you're really putting us on the spot.
Really putting us on the spot. I mean, this is going to be so corny and like good luck going after this, Lynn, but okay. I cannot believe that we have been doing this for 2 years here at the women's game. We have grown a lot this year, which has been very cool to be a part of and to witness. I feel like my good vibe has to be all of the listeners, all of the most loyal hot dogs, whoever gave us these sunglasses at NWSL Championship weekend. You guys are like showing up for us every single time we ask. You call in, you send emails, you respond to us on social media. You're on our Discord channel, which is so cool. I'm just really grateful that this has come to really feel like a community when I like wasn't on a team anymore. That was really sad. And now I feel like I have this great community here at the women's game. And so I'm really, really grateful for all of you. And you're my good vibe.
Oh, that was so cute.
Yeah. Good luck.
You're such a teacher's
good luck going
pet.
after that.
You're like literally a teacher's pet. Okay, I'm just going to add on to yours because I feel the same way. I also just wanted to shout out all the people that like make this work. The amount of time and effort that goes into this. Like, I feel very lucky and blessed and like a little bit spoiled that I just get to show up, have a good time. But there's so many people that, like cutting the footage, cutting the stuff. Sam, you are spending so much time and effort putting the script together, and I don't think that this production happens without all of you. So on top of what Sam said, I also think just the people that make this show run, you guys are my good vibe.
Oh, Lynn, that was really good. That was also teacher's pet, but in a really good way. And I agree. The TWG team is incredible. And yeah, this doesn't happen without them. Without them, Lynn, it's just you and me FaceTiming, and nobody ever gets to listen to it.
I don't know if anybody wants to listen to that.
So thank you, TWG team. Thank you, TWG community. We are so grateful. This was really, really fun. This is a very loose episode, so I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you again to everybody who called in. We really love hearing from you. And just so you know, the banana phone is like always available. It's never off the hook. So you can call today, you can call tomorrow, you can leave us a message, but we will maybe not be listening until 2026. That does it for this year. So I hope everybody has a safe, beautiful, happy, wonderful New Year's Eve. I'm going to be busy dancing up a storm at Christy and Sam's wedding. I'm going to be eating as many shrimp cocktail as they allow me to. And I can't wait. Lynn, you're going to be right there with me.
I'm going to be there. I do need to find an outfit that's going to fit me. So that's on my list of things to do. And I hope it's not too hot. It's going to be so hot. I'm so excited. Marley got burnt so bad yesterday and it was like overcast. So bring your sunscreen.
I like have been considering like making my to-do list for when I first arrive in Australia. And the first thing on this potential list that I will make soon is sunscreen.
Yeah, sunscreen. I need to bring like comfy shoes too because my feet are going to be swollen.
I'm going to bring shoes to change into too, for sure.
Oh, I'm so excited.
All right, everybody, you have a great New Year's Eve. Me and Lynn, think of us. We're going to be dancing. We're going to be fist pumping.
And bumping.
Baby bumping.
Probably.
I don't really know. All right, everybody. Happy New Year. Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Bye-bye.
Bye.